guys, maybe recently in the news, you've heard these stories about students who are so amazing, right? Like this girl who has a 1550 on her SAT and she's got a 3.9 something GPA and she produced 30 plays and she's the most amazing lady ever. And yet she doesn't get into any of the amazing and elite universities that she applied to, and she ends up at a public school in Arizona. Some of you might scratch your head and go, how can something like that happen? In this video, I'm going to talk about one way that something like that can totally happen. It's a kiss of death for your college application. My name is Brooke and I've been coaching essays for the college admissions process. I've also been working as a college consultant and helping students get awesome scores on their SAT and ACT. I've coached students to perfect scores on both those tests. We have a couple of online self-paced courses at SupertutorTV.com for both the SAT and the ACT. We are also starting a 4-session summer course on writing the college essay. If you're interested in getting your personal statement together, that could be a great thing for you to do. You can check all of this out at SupertutorTV.com, or even better yet, subscribe to our mailing list where we'll keep you in the know of everything we've got coming up. SupertutorTV.com/subscribe. We're on social media, guys. Check us out there. So, what is the kiss of death at admissions? A couple of years ago, a Columbia professor of music named Robert Isaacs came out with an opinion piece in Salon that talked about a particular incident that happened when he was helping review applications at Cornell. You see, at Cornell, when the office reviews applications, not only do they have one person who works in the admissions office, but they also pull in faculty members to help read the applications. So this guy was serving on his duty, reading some applications, which he would do, a couple hours a week or whatever it was. And he, for the most part, said that he agreed with his person that he was partnered with in the admissions office on the decisions that were made. But in one particular instance, he was kind of taken aback. On this day, he read a student's essay, and it was about his struggles with depression. He wrote in a way that was eloquent, that was insightful, but he was told in short that Cornell couldn't admit this student. He basically went on to describe how a Cornell admissions department had an informal policy of rejecting any applicants who discussed their struggles with mental health. And that is why discussion of mental health is not just a dangerous essay topic, but it's potentially a kiss of death to an application that is otherwise like super amazing and awesome, right? And if you are somebody who struggles with these things, I first want to tell you, you are not alone. 30 to 40% of high school students struggle with anxiety, depression, or some other type of mental health issue. You are not alone. That's a lot of people. And I would guess that during the pandemic, the numbers there have gone way up, you guys. You are not alone. All these people in your high school class are struggling with this. You are totally not alone, okay? It is okay. And this does not mean that if you've struggled with mental health, you're not going to college or you can't get into an awesome college. You absolutely can. And if you need someone to talk to, I encourage you to find someone to talk to. All right. And if that's your school counselor, that's fine. That's cool. If that's a friend, if that's, you want to reach to outside help, we will put information in the blog that goes with this video. If you click on the link in the description, we will put links to how you can find help if you feel like you are struggling, because there is help out there. There are people out there who want to help you. Talking to people is an awesome way to deal with the struggles that you have internally and the struggles that you have emotionally. And mental health is important, and it should be something that is less taboo and that we don't nix people out for. I'm not saying that this is the right thing that colleges do this, but the college application isn't the safe place to do that, but that's okay. It doesn't mean if you're depressed you can't get into college. It just means don't talk about it, okay? Okay, it's gonna be okay. Now, that being said, if you struggle with depression, if you struggle with mental illness, how do you deal with it? What do you do? If you are going to write about challenges that are mental challenges, that's totally cool and okay, right? For instance, many years ago when I was working with a student who went to a public high school, she was talking about how a lot of her friends were bad influences on her and how she had to, basically endure the social pressure and the mockery of separating herself off from her friends because she knew they were a bad influence and she wasn't going to be able to get the grades she wanted and study as much as she wanted and focus on her academics in the way that she wanted to because she was hanging out with these girls, right? And she knew she had to make a choice and she had to cut off that part of herself, and it was hard and it was sad, but she did it, right? But her essay was bubbly and effusive and full of love, right? Too, like one of her other essays. She is this happy, brilliant, resilient girl. but she had trouble with something and she cut it off. It doesn't mean you don't have mental challenges. And if you've overcome those struggles, you should be proud of the progress that you've made. And that's an awesome story, and you will carry that with you. But the voice that you should take on is how you were tough and you overcame it. You can paint a picture for me of how mentally tough your circumstances are, right? I had another student who was a top-notch athlete, and she dealt with like insane being overwhelmed, anxiety, the crushing weight of competition and traveling the world because she was a world-class, nationally ranked athlete. And she just got in there and told the story of grit, of all the stuff she had to endure, of what her schedule was from morning to night. She talked about what she endured, not about the fact that she sometimes was anxious or she sometimes would have a mental breakdown, right? I don't need to know about those. I want to know about how you win, about how you endure when it comes to these kind of delicate issues. That being said, there are times when you need to talk about something. For example, maybe you took 3 months off from school to deal with your issues. Maybe you went into a program to try to get help and you got help and you got better and it was cool. That's great. That's awesome. Fine. Cool. No problem. But I don't necessarily want you to tell people that you were getting mental health counseling for 3 months on site, right? It might be better to say, hey, I had a health issue, mental health is health, and I was unable to attend school for several months, but that health issue has been treated and resolved, and I'm ready to go back, right? You don't have to disclose all the details. Other times, you may have a dip in grades. You know, if you have a dip in grades, it might be something that you do have to address in some way, but you want to tread lightly. As I always like to say, do not make mental health the focus of any of your main essays. You can sneak it into additional information if you feel it's absolutely necessary, but be very careful. You want to be a person apart from that struggle, right? If you have mental illness, if you have depression, whatever, it might be part of your story, but it's not the story you want to lead with when you just met someone. And you also don't want to scare colleges into thinking that you could have, you know, a roundabout bout of whatever it is that you struggle with, whether it's an eating disorder or OCD, or whatever it is that you've got going on, and then that could take you out of school, it could make you flunk, it could make you, you know, never get your degree. It's a coin flip whether you finish your college degree in America in 6 years or less. About half of students who set out to get a 4-year degree actually walk out with that 4-year degree, and that's in 6 years, not even 4 years, people. Right? Even fewer people walk out in 4 years. It's crazy, isn't it? It's kind of crazy. So if you give them an inkling that maybe you're going to be one of those people who doesn't get out the doors, they're not going to necessarily want to look kindly on that, especially if you're applying to very elite universities, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. I want to tell you that you are awesome no matter who you are. As I always like to say, we have the best subscribers on our channel because you guys care about your future. And if you care about your future, that's the first step to making your future more awesome. Thanks for joining me, guys. Big hug to all of you out there. If you got through this video or if this is an issue or concern for you, you are not alone. I see you. I hear you. You're going to get through whatever it is that you're struggling with, and you're going to make it, and it's going to be okay. Awesome, awesome. Take care, you guys. Have a good week. Bye-bye.